how do you actually fuel the energy into the group?
I think it
Because
comes
that's the most important thing. I think that the group, the group lives. Yeah, this the living organism, and it only lives if you just feel some energy all the time. So how do you do that?
I think this is because our group has these two layers. We are on one side working on our projects and really realizing seeing the baby steps that we take while speaking about these steps to the others. And at the same time, we support each other in a very personal way, and we grow together.
Welcome, everybody. My name is John Brooker from Solution Focus in Organizations. This is a collaboration with NLA, the Swiss group.
It's in German, we would say NLA. Very hearty welcome to you and to all of you.
Okay, thank you. And tonight we've got Sandra Rosa-Collin, Julia Kallenberg, Jan Marklund, and Wendy van den Bulck. We are delighted to have you all along tonight to talk about your support group, your solution focused support group. And I'm sure it's going to be a very enjoyable hour. So I'm going to hand over to Julia. Julia, it's all yours.
Thank you very much, John, for this very nice introduction and for mentioning that this evening is a joint venture between NLA, Netzwerk Lösungsfokussiertes Arbeiten. Yeah, we are a German-speaking network of solution-focused people in Germany, in Austria, and in Switzerland. And I've been on the board of this NLA for more than a year now. And I thought it would be a good idea to have this evening a joint venture of SFIO and NLA. I'm very excited to see many faces that I know. I've known you for a while, and to see also new faces. And the four-leaf clover, which is Wendy, Jan, Sandra, and me, we have been working together and enjoying ourselves for more than 5 years now. And tonight we are going to reveal our secret and share with you some things that we have been enjoying over the time. The outline for our session tonight is we talk about the history of the Solution Focused Support Group, how it all started, how it evolved over time, how we do it now. And we also mentioned the topics that we tackled over the time, what we love about the Solution Focused Support Group. And then finally, you will have the chance to meet each other in small breakout groups. And our best hope for tonight would be that maybe you and us together, we create a ripple effect, you building new solution-focused support groups. And after the breakout sessions, we come back into plenary, do a little bit of harvesting, what has inspired you, and then we answer your possible questions and ask for a little takeaway at the end of the session. Before we start, we thought it might be a nice idea, because not everybody knows the four of us, that we quickly and briefly introduce ourselves.
And I'm Jan Marklund from Sweden, the management consultant. And if you see at the back of my space there, it's a paddle, it's an Eskimo paddle. I love to go kayaking as well as swimming. But I also enjoy socializing with SF people.
Okay, my name is Julia Kallenberg. I'm a solution-focused practitioner as well. I founded my own company 27 years ago, and I met Solution Focus many, many years ago. That was back in 2009. And since then, I am on the hook of Solution Focus. Looking forward to tonight.
And my name is Sandra Rosa-Collin from the Netherlands. And my main profession is I work as a yoga teacher. I'm very passionate about it and about everything about health. And the solution focused, I take it alongside with me all the time. And I work currently as a breathing therapist. That's my main area of profession now. And I love what I'm doing. So, and you'll hear more about it later on.
And I'm Wendy van den Bulck, a solution-focused coach and trainer, mainly in the academic context. And I'm working for individuals and teams with a focus on communication and leadership, self-leadership. And a special focus and passion of mine is I work with the support of horses in my solution-focused coachings. And if you want to know more about that, then you have to go to the website of Solution Focus in Organizations and go to the interaction videos there, and there you will find an interview John had with me a few years ago.
So what we are going to share tonight is a ritual that has turned into a ritual over the time. I hope you can see that, this play of words. We share how we proceeded in our projects, and at the same time how we create good feelings, what we do for that. And we found that there were really two layers which have their place. On the one hand, really working and proceeding on our projects, and the personal support if needed. And the combination of both makes it so worthwhile. So originally we started off as a project group, really working on our project, and the other layer emerged. It really turned into a heart connection, and that's why we call ourselves also the four-leaf clover.
Well, history always have a start, and sometimes you have a starting point. And this was at a soul retreat. For those of you who aren't SF people, sometimes we gather in big gatherings, but also sometimes we maximize it to maybe 20 people. And that's one time we did in Switzerland. And there we gathered and did different things, of course. And at these retreats, we usually have different workshops that is self-organized, people who contribute. And I felt at that time, I wanted to organize something to be online with my one-person company. So I had a workshop and we talked about how do you get online, how do you stay online and so on. And all of a sudden, there were 3 others that we decided to gather again. And those were Julia, Wendy, and Sandra, to keep up talking for a couple of times. But as Julia said, we kept on for 5 years. We'll tell you a little more about how it's changed and evolved, but that's how it started.
And in our first session, something came to my mind, something that I had learned from BPW, Business and Professional Women, which exists all over the world. And I belong to the Club of Bern since 20 years. And in BPW, we have so-called success teams. And I thought, why not take this structure, which has been working very well there, to our solution-focused online group. And the pattern of the BPW success group is the following. You kick off with 4 to 5 people. Everybody presents quickly and briefly their topic, preferably talks about the preferred future of the topic, and maybe mentions also 3 core messages of their topic. And then this is the first session. And then afterwards, people of this support group meet regularly. The group decides themselves how often and how regularly they want to meet. And the meeting then is very structured. Everybody has 15 minutes to talk about what have I achieved since the last meeting? Where do I need feedback? Which questions would I like to have solved, or which questions would I like to raise, and what will be my next steps. So we took this pattern from BPW as a starting point.
And we will tell you immediately how we tuned that a bit to our needs. The first thing we tuned actually was the name. So we started as the SF Onliners, because that was originally, we wanted to become more visible online. So that was the solution focused onliners. And soon it turned out that what is a big challenge for you can never become your biggest quality. So we turned to what was more suitable for us at that time. We became the solution focused progress team, and that evolved to the solution focused success team. Not that we became so successful, but we wanted to share successes and nourish each other in that way. And then it became what is now the solution focused support group. And I think changing the name is not just something, it is really important. It sets the focus, like what is the core essence of what we are doing together. So it's actually a bit the identity. The name shows the identity of what is needed in that moment. And it's a bit of a change the name, change the game, or change the game, change the name, in whatever direction. But we make sure that that the name really captures our core essence. Actually, what we continuously do is the solution focused principle of look what works and do more of that, and if something doesn't work, then stop it and do something else. So the name has changed, has evolved. What has remained is a really good structure, the importance of a structure. We make it really a timed structure. For those who know me, they might hardly believe it, but I am the timekeeper.
And a very, very, very good timekeeper.
Yeah, this is every 6 to 7 weeks, I'm a successful timekeeper. At least that's something that works. And what we also do is we keep the link, the Zoom link, the same. That seems to be a detail, but it's really, it makes it easy. You don't have to look for what was the Zoom link for this time. We use Julia's personal Zoom link, and Julia also briefly before our sessions, she sends a reminder very quickly, like, hey, remember guys, we're seeing each other tomorrow. And what we also do every time is that at the end of our support group meeting, we set a new date. We never, ever end a meeting without setting the date for the next one.
And then what naturally emerged somehow is the resource gossip, or also known under the name of resource shower. And maybe some of you haven't heard of it. When in real life, someone gets the attention of needs the attention or gets the attention of positive words, of feedback on strengths, feedback on what people appreciate about a person. Then, for example, in real life, I would turn my back on you and you would give me all this positive feedback. So it somehow occurred again, and we changed it in a real nice way. So online at first, we also turned around. But then we, maybe Jan, you can do it. We stopped the video, disappeared. Wendy would say always the magic words like, it's time to disappear. And then it's really nice, because then if I, for example, would receive the resource shower, I could still look at their faces, look at everybody, hear them talking about me, about my strengths, about what they appreciate. And because getting us so close after all these years, we also look at body language, about how enthusiastic someone is, and we get feedback about that. So that's how it worked. And well, you can imagine, it's fantastic to hear all this positive gossip about you. Something else which we also, which is really important for the four of us, is that we always, the evening before, or maybe in the morning, we'll usually start our meetings at 7:30 in the morning. we really prepare. We sit down, we reflect, and we look back at the weeks from the last meeting up to that moment. And for me personally, it's very precious because sometimes life really gets in the way. Sometimes there's some challenges. And my focus is not good on what I've been doing the last 6 weeks. So it's a really good moment to get a realistic view again. It's a stop moment to look back at what worked. I think that for all of us, we take that very seriously.
The magic lies in the structure, we think. Well, part of the magic lies in the structure. We have a brief check-in, and maybe it's a kind of an energy barometer. How is everyone doing? Because there is about 6 to 8 weeks between every support group session. So we have a kind of what we call a normal structure. As a timekeeper, I always check, is this how you want the time to be divided? So we have these 15 minutes divided in what we call 10 minutes progress. So talk about what have you been progressing on, and it doesn't necessarily have to be about the specific topic of the previous session. Sometimes something completely different emerges, and you talk about the progress that there was in between the previous session and now. It might be structured a little bit different per person or what everyone needs, but it always has these 15 minutes and these topics. So there is also a resource shower that Sandra just described. Then there are questions to the others, or whatever whatever you need. So you really tap into the wisdom of the group, and it really helps to get unstuck and to open your horizon, get new ideas, get inspired. And then in the last 2 minutes, the one who has been in focus shares what his or her next steps are based on what you shared, because sometimes when you talk about the progress you've made by sharing it, you sometimes come up with ideas. You get ideas from others. There is a resource gossip. Then you bring your next steps, and then at the end, as already mentioned, we always find a date for a new session. So that is the structure that has been working for us since about 5 years. Let's just briefly go through what topics we have been dealing with in the past 5 years.
For me, it started out with this intention of being visible online with my one-man company, and then maybe how do I stay there? How do I make it sustainable? But since it was during the pandemic, I got an idea, or actually a question. My earlier book written in Swedish, when do we reach out to the broader public in English? And I decided, wow, should I refashion this, rewrite it to an international public? And this was a perfect group to talk to your struggles. How do I do that? This is for Swedish audience. How do you reach broader? And now for the last couple of months, it's been finished, but how do I find a publisher? I thought it was easy, but in Sweden, you don't publish English books actually. So now I'm out there with this group's help to find an international publisher. So it's been quite a journey for me.
For me as well, writing a book has always been a dream of mine, and the topic changed over time. My father died in 2020, and after his death, or around his death, I began to write a book, which I just published last year. And it was with the support of the support group that it really, you guys helped me to follow up, to really keep going. Thank you very much for that. And after finishing the process of writing the book, I'm now in the process of dividing and dealing with the heritage with my brother, which is not always easy. And I use your support for looking at how do I deal with myself in that respect, and how do I co-create a preferred future with my brother? And it's so helpful to speak out loud about these things, and you accompanying me. And Sandra, what have you been doing?
Yes, it's funny because while the other three were writing books, I was teaching yoga. I was asked to write and teach a training on breathing therapy. And I thought I'd be better well prepared, and I choose to follow another training to become a Buteyko breathing therapist. And since then, I've been hooked on this in this area because I've seen how the breath can influence everybody in a positive way, and how people don't know about it. So since then, I've been trying to become visible in this area. And I could always talk with these guys about it. They help me with, okay, my website, developing, what do I do, flyers. If everybody is in this target area, so who do I work with? What do I do? And well, it's been developing really well because of talking about it all the time. And also at the moment, what came from it is the focus on schools. I'm writing program and teaching on schools about well-being, including the breath.
Well, for me too, my topics, I was finishing the English version of my book when we started the support group. So with our support group, so it was like, okay, how to market my book. I was setting up an online learning platform, how to do that. But also in the past couple of years, I had some heart issues with the collaboration partner, and also there it was so great to tap into the solution focused support, resource, acknowledgement, whatever, at times when I was really kind of desperate. And currently it's again how to gain visibility, how to manifest, realize creative ideas, etc. So.
Yeah, you never know really what's going to show up, but even if you have the structure, you're very curious. Is it up or down for the colleagues? Sometimes it's really down, struggling, or sometimes overcoming climbing up to the peak, and now we're surfing. So it's such a thrill every 6 weeks.
And now I think we should let you go into the breakout sessions. You are already waiting.
That's right. And we've got a few questions for you prepared. I will read the questions for you. So what has inspired you when you listened to us? And which topics come to your mind which you would like to tackle in a similar way? And what kind of people would you like to have in your solution-focused support group? Is it people out of business or private life or else? And what time of the day would you like to set it up for?
Welcome back. Welcome back. While you were out there talking, I grabbed my kayak paddle, Eskimo, Greenland. But you don't care about that, do you? Now I'm really curious about, what has inspired you during this session? Please write your reflections in the chat, and what has inspired you? Could be anything, please.
Yeah, indeed. A sense of community, working with like-minded people, ideas, supports. You have, thanks. Positive gossip. Yes, please take it with you. It's so nourishing. Commitment. Working on a certain topic with buddies, resource shower, positive gossip.
Power of lightness of the structure. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, trying to do the maths that you probably did 50 times. Great. Oh, there is a Canadian group. Yes. Great. Power of the lightness, solution focused attitude, different ideas.
You cannot have enough of it. Wow.
Wow.
That's great. And it's true. It's true. Yeah.
So good. thanks for sharing all. Glad to have
Yeah.
inspired you.
And I just have to tell you, I don't know if there are any Swedes out there now, but resource shower. Okay, that sounds pretty good in English, but do you know what's in Swedish? Resource is resurs and shower is dusch. So it's resurs dusch. That's
Wow.
resource shower. It's a wonderful word.
Oh, you started a Canadian group. Wow, you are great.
Yes, it's great. All right.
Mm.
Are there any questions?
How did you start? Who started it? Maybe you told us, but maybe I haven't heard.
Well, it was like we started it really as just let's gather a couple of times online to just discuss the topic. It started at the gathering, a summer garden gathering, and so we just said let's meet a couple of times to discuss things together. And that was back in the summer of 2019, and here we are 5 years later still discussing things together. So we didn't start it as let's do this as from now. We started it as let's do this a couple of times, and then it was so useful that we just kept on going.
Yeah.
And it was to stay online. All of us were very eager to be out there on the internet 5 years ago. But after a while, it faded out. However, the structure that Julia brought in, that she said in the beginning, that helped us a lot. So the structure has been there all the time, even though it's changed a little. But it had rituals. Ritualen has been ritualen, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's that's how it started. More
Yeah,
questions, please. Yeah, there you go. Ritual.
Okay.
And we're too eager to set the dates all the time again to find a date.
Yeah.
More questions from your side, please.
You can.
Can I ask a quick question about the resource shower? I really didn't get what you guys do with turning around and what that was.
Yeah.
Okay. So, for example, I've been in a training for solution focused coached. At the end of a day, I would turn around in front of the whole group, looking at my back, and they would talk about all my strengths, talk about everything they appreciated in me. Online, we've changed it a little bit. I would make myself disappear.
Oh, I see.
I would still see the other three, and they would start gossiping about me, and then all positive again. So my strength, what they see me doing, maybe something also about my body language, if I'm enthusiastic. So it can be anything, everything. They've been hearing me talking about everything, reading between the lines as well. They tell me so, and I can make notes. I can look at them, which is really nice.
And a detail usually is you don't talk to the person, you talk about the person, which is so we talk to each other about the third person or the fourth person,
You're talking to,
which
are you
makes
talking
a little difference.
You guys are talking amongst yourselves, not talking to her. You're talking amongst yourselves.
Yeah,
like
right. Yeah,
Okay, that's good.
we talk to each other about the person.
That was Joe George from the USA.
Hi.
Yes.
Hi. How did you help it grow? Like marketing seems to be, it's not just marketing has a business implication, and this sounds mostly for free, but like in the US, SFU, which I see Paul commented on, kind of dominates everything, and it's for a big fee. And it's hard to get. How did you help your system grow?
Mainly bottom line by exchanging best practices. So by building further on what works actually, and to help, we help each other find resources, things that work. And so it's really creating the ripple effect, not the big things, not the big systems, but really make sure that, and that I think is what the support group is extremely helpful for, is I think we are all good at helping each other to keep on moving into the direction of our choice. each one of us. So we really keep each other going literally in small steps. So it's not the big systems or the big marketing. It's less like, okay, what works, do more of that. And these are things that if I hadn't had these people, then I wouldn't have proceeded this far, because they keep me going. Is that an answer to your question, Joe?
Well, kind of, but I meant literally like the nuts and bolts of starting. I meant literally like, how did you get the group? Did you find them on Facebook? Did you, like, how did you network, get the initial participants?
Yeah, it was the people at the Swiss conference. So there was no real marketing. This is the first time we market the way. Well, this is the first time we try to explain what we are doing, which isn't that same as doing it. We've done it for 5 years. So yeah, it's been the 4 of us all the time, and we met physically the first time.
Did you understand better now, Jan, what you were doing after having explained
it? Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, in some way.
If I may, George, I think that it's done on a relational basis. Solution focus to me is an intimate, relational based kind of thing that's not about big marketing and that kind of thing. That's been my experience, which is different, a different approach.
Victoria.
How do you actually fuel the energy into the group?
I think it
because
comes
that's the most important thing. I think that the group the group lives, this the living organism, and it only lives if you just feel some energy all the time. So how do you do that?
I think this is because our group has these 2 layers. We are on one side working on our projects and really realizing seeing the baby steps that we take while speaking about these steps to the others. And at the same time, we support each other in a very personal way, and we grow together. So we have never, ever thought about how do we keep the energy for the group. It's maybe, as Jan said before, maybe one time you go into the meeting in the morning and you think, oh gosh, I haven't accomplished anything. And then just before the meeting, you wrap up and think about what have I done? What have I achieved? And then you go out of the meeting really boosted. It's always been like that.
Yeah. And I think what also two ingredients that also play a part, it is also partly curiosity driven, like, hey, how are they doing on their topics? And also indeed in the morning sometimes, because we start at 7:30, sometimes it feels like, oh shit, and then you feel like I want to be there for the others. So it's really you want to contribute, you want to be meaningful for the others, and I think that's part of it. Yeah.
Before Joran Galli, I just want to get, and in some networks, you can say that those who show up, that's who they are for. But if there aren't the 4 of us, we don't make the meeting. So that's kind of interesting. So if they come, so there are the 4 with that such small group, so we keep the 4 of us. Joran, please.
Yes, I just realized that although there was no specific rule, everyone already knows the solution focused language before joining the group. So I wonder what would have happened if an outsider would arrive. Will he be able to speak and contribute and get a contribution? Just a thought.
I think, of course, an outsider would quickly be introduced and welcomed to the group, because this has been working for BPW, Business and Professional Women. And one thing that we changed from the BPW format, and which really uplifted the whole format, was the resource gossip. And if I would do it again for BPW, if I would do it again for BPW, certainly with a resource stosh.
In the meantime, I see in the chat that at least one group is starts forming. How to proceed from here, because that's really interesting. Please send each other your contact details or whatever if you want to use the chat now that it's open. Exchange contact details so that you find each other now that they still that the idea is still warm, let's say.
So wrap up. Please write into the chat one thing. What is one smallest step that you would like to take after this meeting tonight? You can write all at the same time, and this saves time. Please go. Go.
Try out the structure. A smaller group within the larger group sounds great, I think. Encourage someone, yeah. And that one is interesting to learn, yeah. SF supportive magic, yes. Join a group.
Thanks for sharing, guys. Please go on, share each other, write each other a personal note with your contact details as long as the meeting runs. Thanks for having attended. Really.
And if you wanted to know more, and if you have questions to the 4-leaf clover, please don't hesitate to reach out to us.
Yes.
I would like to say a huge thank you to the 4 of you for coming along. So Wendy, Jan, Julia, and Sandra, thank you so much for coming along to tell us about this. And again, thank you so much to all of you for coming along. And we hope you found it an enjoyable session. Thank you and good night.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.